Breakers Incorporated. You make 'em, we shake 'em. Bob Hope speaking. Yes, Paulette Goddard's a partner in this firm. What? You want me to send her around? Listen, if I could tell Paulette what to do, I wouldn't send her to your house. Sucker. You know, I never knew there were so many ghosts roaming around loose until Paulette and I got into the Ghost Breakers. Believe me, the Cat and the Canary was a pink tea compared to this picture. It all starts on one terrible night. Basil Rathbone must be giving a party. That's the night that Paulette inherits a ghostly ancient castle off the coast of Cuba. The place is filled with mummies and spooks that walk at midnight. There are murders and death warnings planned to frighten Paulette and me, but we ain't frightened. I'll match you to see who faints first.
Stop calling, please. Where are you?
That sounded like he was calling for it. That's what they're trying to make us believe. One reason Paulette and I are such good ghost breakers is that we don't believe in ghosts. Or do I?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to 31 Days of Monsters, Day 28. Today we're going to talk about 1940s Ghost Breakers, starring Bob Hope and Paulette Goddard. This was originally a stage play back in I think 1913, and they made it into this movie, and they did a remake of it 13 years later, starring Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, called Scared Stiff, I think it was called. Is that what it was? Yeah, Scared Stiff. This Ghost Breakers is probably the second best comedy horror film ever done. It's atmospheric. It comes off, and they try to play it off like a Scooby-Doo episode where it's, just a guy, who's setting all this stuff up, but it's not, because there actually is a zombie in it, and there are ghosts in it. That's one of the things that I love about it, is that the ghosts and the monsters are real. And this predates Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein by 8 years. And Abbott and Costello is the greatest, and that's the one that I'm going to be doing tomorrow for tomorrow's show. But the only thing that keeps Ghost Breakers from getting right up there with Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein is two things. One is the character played by Willie Best, a black actor who was pretty much relegated to those step and fetch it roles, and he plays Bob Hope's, manservant, if you will, Alex, in this film. Now, Alex is really the voice of reason in this movie. He's smarter than Bob Hope, but he's still doing that kind of slow talking, racist interpretation of blacks in films at this time. So that tamps the greatness of this film down a bit. There's a few scenes where you're like a little very cringeworthy. The other thing is that there's a sequence in here. An actor named Lloyd Carrigan plays a character named Martin, and Martin shows up 3 times in this film, and each time they're setting you up like something's going on with this guy, like he knows something, or he's either a cop investigating it, or he's also a participant in the crime that's going on, that type of thing. And then he disappears. I mean, I don't mean like his character like gets, kidnapped or something like that. I mean, just like that plot point completely disappears out of the film. And you're left wondering, well, whatever happened to that guy? And what was all the mystery about him? So that's the other thing that kind of like just tamps it down a little bit. But other than that, it's a really great film. And the other thing I love about this movie is that it's got one of my favorite lines in any movie.
Horrible. It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats?
I love that. Now, to be fair, Bob Hope in his radio program would switch that line to, you mean like Republicans as well. But there it is on film, and that's the one I like. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. I never saw it on TV. I came across it on DVD many, many years later. So I don't think it was on TV all that often, but it's really, really good. It's got an excellent cast. Bob Hope, of course, Paulette Goddard, the always dependable Richard Carlson in these type movies. In fact, that's Richard Carlson right there. Paul Lucas, another Hungarian expatriate like Bela Lugosi. Character actor Pedro de Cordoba, and also the great Noble Johnson as the zombie. Noble Johnson's another black actor who was kicking around in the 30s, early 30s and 40s, played a lot of really great roles. He was in King Kong, he was in this, and he went on to have a really, really stellar career. It doesn't have any lines in this movie, but he's very imposing and a really cool looking zombie. They never really explain, I don't think, where the zombie came from either, but he sort of like protects the castle or something. But yeah, it's really cool. Here's a poster from the movie. I always love these kind of cartoony ghost imagery. Ever since, probably I was a little kid reading Casper comics. That's how I pictured ghosts. Here's a great promo shot of the beautiful Paulette Goddard and Bob Hope and Noble Johnson as the zombie. But so there you have it, 1940s Ghostbreakers. It's a great, great movie. You should watch it if you can find it anywhere. I'm not sure if it's on. I'm sure you could rent it on Amazon, but it may be on YouTube too. Okay, good morning, Monster fan. Greetings, future ghosts. I love this movie. Bob Hope has a wonderful political joke. Okay, there we go. I played that. And truly creepy zombie too. Hyper Kaiju, good morning. Good morning, Dr. Mask. Good morning, chat. Have not seen this one, but it looks great. It looks great and is great. It's very atmospheric too. There's some fun gangster stuff. There's some great lines in it. This is Bob Hope is like a radio broadcaster who knows all the inside scoop on organized crime. And so he's got his fingers in that peripherally. And one of his snitches is coming to tell him, about a tip for a story. And he says, yeah, I got a great tip. Such and such was driving, and his car got ran off the road, and and he crashed off the road, and it was a huge explosion. Bob Hope goes, "When was that?" And he goes, "Probably tomorrow around 9." And he's like. The return of the Morning Monster Show. I've missed it. Oh, so you guys like the morning shows better than the evening shows, huh? I'd have thought the evening shows would be better, just because people aren't rushing off to work, but maybe in this COVID world, everybody's working from home. So maybe the morning shows are the better times. Great stream last night. I'm a big Kelly Jones fan. It was a lot of fun hearing his thoughts on horror. Yes, Kelly's very knowledgeable on horror. We are definitely kindred spirits in our love for that kind of stuff. He was a lot of fun and very, very informative too. Happy Hump Day. Good morning, Scott. Fearless Freep. Good morning. Expanding on the board game discussion from last night, have you ever seen Creature Features? I have not. We were discussing a board game called Horrified, which is about the Universal monsters. And it's a really, really fun game where you as the participants aren't playing against each other. You're playing against the monsters. So you get to team up with all the other players and you have to try and defeat the monsters. And it's a lot of fun. They've got all, the Mummy, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Creature, and they even have Chicken Wilbur from Having Costello Meet Frankenstein. Oh, he says it's a Monopoly style game based on Universal Monsters. I played that game to death when I was a kid, contrary to the YouTube title. Oh, this is Steve Lowenthal. Hi, Steve. Cool. One read too. Just watched the video with Kelly. Cool. Good morning, Lord Finatra. Good morning, Otis Rose. Yeah, pink tea. What does that even mean? Ashton Jackal is getting sad because when October is done, he will miss these live streams. I'll do something. I'm thinking of maybe even doing like a Star Trek one, taking like Star Trek episodes and talking about that. Because, as Kelly and I were talking last night, we both agreed that the three most influential things in pop culture in our lives were monsters, comics, and Star Trek. So that might be a fun show to do, break down the episodes, the good and the bad. Good morning, Dennis. Mornings will be a lot less fun. Well, I'm going to have to do something. Like the Master's a big board game fan. The oddest one we had as a kid was Mystic Skull, a game about voodoo for kids. I think I remember that one. Let's see. Oh, it just skipped back on me. Let's see here. Oh, I forgot to mention Anthony Quinn. Yeah, this is an early Anthony Quinn appearance in here too. He plays twin brothers. Okay. Good morning, Christopher Juliano. Oh, Dr. Mass says it looks like it's on YouTube. Great. Great. Yeah. So you guys get your homework. You can watch this one tonight or today, whenever. Chris thinks it has the same vibe as Hold That Ghost. It's better than Hold That Ghost because Hold That Ghost is a Scooby-Doo episode. There are no ghosts. It's basically a mystery with criminals and stolen money. This one actually has the real deal. That's why I like it. I always hated those kind of stories, those setups for ghosts or monsters, and it's just the gardener. Hate that. Got to have our monsters, people. The evening shows are a little longer, which is fun. Yeah, they can go longer because people, and me, we got stuff to do in the morning. Um, but yeah, I find that the morning show is a little easier. I'm a little bit more awake. By the evening time, I'm starting to slow down. My eyes are tired from drawing and writing all day. Christopher thinks a Star Trek discussion would be awesome. All right. So every Star Trek, so that would be awesome. It may also be fun to hear you talk about your favorite comic projects you worked on. Yeah, I could slip that in too. Okay, I think I've covered everybody that's in here this morning. I think people are sleeping in from last night's long show. Oh, here's one I missed. Fearless Fap, I enjoyed the Hope Crosby road pictures. Silly sometimes, but fun. Yeah. Some of them were better than others, but I always loved the interplay between Bing and Bob. Some of that stuff wasn't even scripted. They were just bouncing off each other, and it was so great. And they had really cool, defined characters as well. They're on-screen personas. One of the things Bob Hope said about this movie is that, he always plays the coward in his films, and he has his cowardly moments here, but he rises and becomes the hero, when he first confronts Paul Lucas, thinking that the guy's trying to intimidate Paulette Goddard, he steps up and he sort of threatens the guy. So this was a film that Bob enjoyed because of that. Morning, Graham. Almost Halloween makes me sad. It's one of my favorite times of the year. But just like Christmas, you can keep Halloween in your heart, right? Keep watching good monster movies all year round. That's what I do. Are you guys into Westerns? Because that's another passion of mine. I love Westerns. That could be a fun one to do. Throw in some cool Western movies. Okay, well, I think I've got everybody covered here. Ooh, George Travelos loves him. All right, cool. Gomer Kyle, yes, Westerns. Christopher Juliano, yes, Westerns. Ryan Nolan's Western Roundup has a nice ring. Well, I think I might have hit on something here. Yeah. All right. So we got some stuff we can do. Yeah, we'll do some Star Trek, do some Westerns, talk some comics. Just kind of mash it up, mix it up. Okay. Norrin Red 2 Turbo says Westerns are great. Okay. Good to know. Don's up for a good Western. I need to learn more about Westerns, so I'd be in for that. Excellent. Okay. I always watch Westerns in November after doing horror movies in October. Is that true? I mean, I tend to do that too. After Halloween, because I start watching in September, and I'm watching every single day a horror movie, monster movie, something like that. Have you watched a film on Netflix called Dark Was the Night? I have not. Do you recommend it? Because I will look into it. All right, gang. Well, thanks for everybody to everybody that stopped in here. As usual, it's always a great morning when you guys are in here participating. It makes it a lot of fun for me. We're coming down to the final stretch, and I saved some of my favorites for last. Tomorrow, the greatest comedy horror mashup of all time, Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein. Friday will be The Crawling Eye, also known as the Trollenberg Terror. And then the one I've been pimping now for 31 days, my favorite monster movie of all time, and one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time of any genre, The Thing from Another World. That will be on Halloween on Saturday. So that's the lineup coming up. So we got some really great stuff. So you got a little heads up about what to watch, so you can start searching them out now. So tomorrow, same bat time, 8 o'clock in the morning, be here for Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye now.